cleaning next Tuesday. MHD also plans to conduct dust sweep clearance tests on June 3rd. Brown Street and Westside Academies are closed for the rest of the school year as part of ongoing lead remediation cleanups. In Waukesha at Oak Hill Terrace Senior Living Center,
it sounds like they're reporting 8 people fighting in the lobby.
Audio courtesy of Broadcastify describes a large fight that left adults and juveniles injured Thursday afternoon. Police say a dispute began among several employees and escalated when another group of people forcibly entered the lobby. Several people and a juvenile were assaulted. One victim was kicked in the head, another had their phone stolen and later found destroyed on Interstate 94. Waukesha police are seeking multiple suspects who could face charges of battery, disorderly conduct, and child abuse. Jury selection is underway in a high-profile Milwaukee murder trial. 34-year-old Maxwell Anderson is accused of killing 19-year-old Sade Robinson in April of last year. Police said the two were seen together on a date just hours before Robinson was reported missing. Her burned car was found shortly afterwards, and over the following days, her dismembered remains were discovered in multiple locations across southeast Wisconsin and even northern Illinois. Anderson faces 3 felony charges, including homicide and mutilating a corpse. He has pleaded not guilty. This has been your news update. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris is next on the new 1017 The Truth.
Bringing you his authentic perspectives on important topics.
They live in suburbs together. They live in the city together. They hang out together, all in the same family. We're the only idiots that fight because we want our voice to only be on one side. Like, does that even make any sense? And when the side loses, you lose everything. They, on the other hand, have a voice no matter what because somebody that looks like them is always in control.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point.
Well, it's just a skewed system.
Of course it is.
It's a lot of adjustment.
But answer my question, though. Should we let people go? Should we let people go? Like, let's just forget about bail altogether. And if your neighbor commits a homicide and kills people up, if you kill people and they next to you and you just let them come back and live right next to you, they can live upstairs from you. Let them come in your house.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point. This is the best radio show in the state of Wisconsin. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth and The Truth app.
Now, he's the mayor of the city of Milwaukee. He's a young man. Give him a chance. I only complain about things that I care about. What I want you to do is pretend like I'm in St. Louis. And all I'm asking the mayor and the Common Council president and the Common Council, show me.
Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is Dr. Ken Harris.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. Who keeps putting this fake, faux Milwaukee flag in here? Now it's gone. All right. All right, it's Tuesday already, but the week has already begun. Hang on, let me see all this stuff. Who was in here? Tori Lowe was in here. Oh, my goodness. Everything's all discombobulated. Discommulated? What is going on? Gotta fix stuff. All right. Should I try it again? Okay, so play the theme again. No, I'm just kidding. You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. Hey, can you tell I had a good weekend? It was a great weekend. So, I guess I can officially say, celebrated my birthday over the weekend. So it's official. I'm old. So now, if you thought I was bad, I don't really be bad. Hey, can you? No. Right? That's what I would normally say. Now, I'm just not going to answer. You're going to be like, hey, Dr. Ken, such and such. I'm going to look at you. That's exactly what you're going to get. Oh, I'm just kidding. I'm having a great day. I am having an absolutely magnanimous, wonderful, stupendous day. I am. And so I think from now on, I'm going to celebrate my birthday the entire month. But I'm going to celebrate my birthday the entire month from the day of till the day before the next month. Does that make sense? So if I was born on the 1st, I would celebrate from the 1st to the 30th or 31st until the next month started. So if I was born on the 10th, I would celebrate until the 9th of the following month. I think I'm going to do that this time. But that'll mean every time I do it, I'll have to say happy birthday to me every single day for a month. How long do you think that would last? I mean, like 3 days. And then I'll forget. And then I'll be like, I was doing something. What was I doing? Wait a minute. What was I? And then I won't remember. And then it'll be all messed up and yeah. So I'm having one of those days today. And I'm having one of those days because it looks like I might have emailed something that wasn't the right thing. And I hate to do that. And so while I'm sitting here doing a live show, I have to go on and check to make sure that everything is taken care of. But you know how that goes, right? Things get messed up. I still don't understand about this cord. Can somebody help me with this cord? This cord is too long. It's just hanging down. It's just, yeah. But see, that's the other thing you get to do when you reach a certain age, right? You get to complain about stuff. And to be honest, you really don't care whether or not anybody fixes it. You just want to be able to complain about it. You just want to be able to complain about it. And so that's what I do. I complain about everything. Speaking of today, I have another thing I want to complain about. And I don't really understand what it's about. But this is for college presidents. So there was a story in CBS58.com that talked about how university leaders are upset with the Trump administration. They want the Trump administration wants to reshape how students pay for college, which I think might be a good thing with the way students are complaining about loans and financing and all that other stuff. So I kind of get it. I kind of understand why that's a thing. Well, here in Wisconsin, they're speaking out about the potential overhaul of student loan programs. Part of the one big beautiful bill that's in the House. They approved it, they approved it, and now it's going to the Senate. And there are two senators, I think Ron Paul and Ron Johnson of Wisconsin, are having issues with because they say it takes too much spending. And so the leaders from the University of Wisconsin system, Technical College, Wisconsin Association of Independent Colleges, everybody's complaining to talk about the provision in the policy that would reshape how students pay for college. College is too expensive. I don't care what anybody says or what anybody does. College is too expensive. And on top of that, how you have to pay for it is so convoluted and so idiotic that by the time you pay for it, you never really know what you're paying. Now, one thing the Obama administration brought in is they put a cap on how much you could raise tuition. They should have just locked it in, but they didn't do that. Okay, you can go up another 4%, and that's it. Well, you should lock it that way for 4 years and only adjust it every 4 years or so, right? You can go up and that way you can budget better, you can plan better. Faculty, everybody knows you're not getting a raise for 4 years. So if you come here, this is what you get. If you came here the last year of a 4-year bid, then you might get a raise the next year, but it'll only be 4%. Like stuff like that, right? We don't do that. You go into a dark hole, somebody in the internet decides whether or not you're going. And trust me, I've had loans, I've paid for school, I've done all that. I filled out FAFSAs when they were on paper. I filled out FAFSAs online. I filled out FAFSAs when they were electronic. And it still didn't make any sense. Every year, the amount of how much money you could make changed. So one year you were eligible, the next year you weren't. The next year you're eligible, the next year you aren't. The next year you think you're getting, and here's the lie behind it. We call it financial aid when in fact it's not financial aid at all. I'm getting so upset. It's a loan. It is not financial aid. You're not aiding me by putting me in debt. You're saddling me. So if you want to call it a strap or a belt that you're tying me down, call it financial strapped. You're going to be financially strapped. But don't call it aid because you're not helping me. You're helping me be in debt for the next 10 to 20 years so I'm not able to live the American dream. That is what you should call it. That's what you should call it. Or make 2-year college compulsory and go from there. They're slamming aspects, calling it, well, what they don't want to hear is the package including replacing a dozen student loan repayment plans with just 2, a standard monthly rate, and a new income-based plan. So Universities of Wisconsin President Jay Rothman said, let me be blunt, it simply makes no sense for the United States to narrow educational opportunities. How are we narrowing educational opportunities? What that means is that we're shedding light on what it actually is and not all this ridiculousness so the federal government can make so much money off students and keeping them tied down with debt for decades. I am dumbfounded that cutting education opportunities would even be considered when our economy, when our economic vibrancy of our nation is at stake. First of all, students don't make the economy vibrant. They could never make the economy vibrant because, Mr. Rothman, under this plan, you keep students in debt. At least if we try something new, you know exactly what you're getting. This is what your bill's going to be when you get it. This is how long you're going to have to pay it. That's it. Here's a repayment plan. You get an extended plan or you get a regular plan. That's all that was there. Loan forgiveness, it's another beast. If you work in public sector, if you work in a nonprofit, law enforcement, fire service, city government, you should get it forgiven over a certain amount of time. Here's my question. Why am I making payments over a certain amount of time? Because the federal government wants to make money on the debt. Then why not just send them to school for free? You major in this and you get this minimum grade point average, you get to go to school for free. That's like we do military people. If you want to change something, change that. We got kids of people who are in the military making money. Well, I wouldn't say making money, but not paying money by going to college for free, by giving it to their spouses and children. For what possible reason? There's not enough you could do in the military for your entire family to get a benefit off the taxpayers. It's ridiculous, but I have friends whose kids went to school for that, took their sweet time, got 128 credits of undergraduate pay for school? How many of them, as they say, tricked that off? But yet we're sitting here crying about whether or not, oh, and by the way, all these schools that are taking all the money from the military, maybe you should turn that back over too then. Because that doesn't make any sense, right? Free money from the federal government. But those veterans earned it. Their families did not. So if you want to give it to a veteran, me personally, give a veteran a bachelor's degree and a master's degree. be able to take advantage of whatever your federal and whatever your state gives you. Why the state gives you something and you are federal makes no difference. It just makes no sense to me. You just get one, just like everybody else. If I can get a loan and I have to handle it, then if you're a veteran, you should only get one kick at the cat for your degree. That's it. You don't keep, I think I'll have the state pay for this one and the federal government pay for this one. And I think that's too much. And now people say, oh, you hate veterans. No, I don't hate veterans. If we're going to do what's equitable, you already got rid of diversity, equity, and inclusion, so nobody in America is special anymore. Well, let's get rid of that too. Other changes would repeal the Biden-era regulations that made it easier for students to get loans canceled if their college suddenly closed or defrauded them. That should not change. If I'm a victim, I shouldn't have to pay back something that's a school loan, but if it was a credit card or a store cheated me, I could sue them and get my money back. That just makes no sense. It's idiotic. But these are people who have money invested into Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac and real estate and housing and mortgages and school loans, so they want to make money. It was a mistake to have the federal government run the system. It was a mistake to have who? The private sector run the system. Let students in schools sit down and figure out how this works. And if the school doesn't work with you, go somewhere else. They say it would also limit the number of options low to middle income students have to pay for college. Students that would be impacted under the provision say they'd be forced to pay more to stay in school. And so here's what you have to be careful of, right? Jose Villarreal, a student at Madison College, said, if we want a stronger workforce and stronger economy, we need to support students already giving it all they've got. Don't move the goalposts. Don't make it harder for us, please. But I'm sure if I ask him something, he'll only tell me the talking points that everybody else that's against it tell me, and they won't look at anything in that's positive. That's the problem I have. Higher education is one of several controversial measures in the legislative package that also seeks to cut Medicaid, food stamps, and make permanent GOP's 2017 tax cuts. So what I need is for somebody to show me where it cuts Medicaid, where it cuts food stamps. So here's what happens. We call things a cut when we don't expand it. Oh, you're not giving me more? Oh, that's a cut. It goes up every 5 years. This year, we're not getting 5%. It's not a cut. But I don't know what that is because no one will come out and say, this is what it is. How will students be affected with school loans? If you were telling me a story like this, what you should have told me is exactly what the plan is for each one with the two plans. But they don't give you detail because that's on purpose. They only want you upset about it. But don't feel bad. Republicans do it too. They only tell you the good stuff about the bill. They don't tell you the bad. But through it all, this story disturbs me because university leaders are pretending like they know what it takes for somebody to go to school in today's climate. When I was in school, none of this stuff, even as far back as 2009, none of this stuff was in vogue. The stuff that's under the Biden administration, the stuff that's under the Trump administration, none of this was there. What we miss is somebody has to pay for it. Somebody has to pay for it. I paid for it. With my blood, sweat, and tears working for the Milwaukee Police Department and for the state of Wisconsin and for Concordia University for 30 plus years. If you want yours forgiven, do the same. But I got to tell you, hey, college presidents, stop being stupid.
And that is Dr. Ken's Truth on the new 1017 The Truth.
Here at the new 1017 The Truth, we aim to be a staple in Milwaukee's Black community. We are committed to partnering with local organizations and supporting Black-owned businesses. We are proud to call Milwaukee our city and promise to be a positive reflection of our community. We look forward to celebrating Black culture and excellence with you every day as we make history and continue to uplift the voices in our city. Join us for the journey at the new 1017 The Truth, founded by Gruber Law Offices, Milwaukee Black Talk.
Hey there, did you hear? There are still spots open for Girl Scout Summer Camp 2025.
Whether you're into water activities, arts and crafts, sports and games, exploring nature, or even horseback riding, there's a camp just for you.
Choose from GSY's day camps, overnight camps, community day camps, or Camp Hero.
Bring a friend and get ready for a summer full of adventure, friendship, and leadership.
Register today and let's make this the best summer ever, Girl Scout style.
Life's better with American Family Insurance, because whether it's a family road trip in your dream car or hosting a family reunion in your dream home, we help you feel protected so you can enjoy those dreams with peace of mind. Save up to 23% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
I've got to share that I am also a beneficiary of the Old National Bank Empowerment Loan Program. So, Tracy, with that being said, what is the Empowerment Loan Program?
Great. Well, the Empowerment Loan Program is a special purpose loan program that we launched 2 years ago. It has been a success. It was something, again, near and dear to the heart of not only our chairman and CEO, but just our organization as a whole. We work with contractors, consulting firms, retail food operations, daycares. In fact, so far, we've approved $50 million of loans to minority and women-owned businesses within a 2-year period.
And for those that are now leaning more into this conversation, what's the best way to get in contact with you as part of their interest in the Empowerment Loan Program?
I'm going to give you my cell phone number to the listeners. It's 414-687-7393. And if that doesn't work, feel free to reach me at my email, tracy.meeks@oldnational.com.
Tracy Meeks, Senior Vice President, Community Lending Market Executive from Old National Bank.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You know, it was about 3 o'clock when I looked at the time. And I had about 2 more hours to go before I got to your love. And the time just kept ticking slower and slower. When I got to the front door, I thought about opening the door with my keys and seeing your lovely face right in front of me. Girl, I've been thinking about you all day long, and I just could not wait, baby, to get home.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. I had to ask him, who is this? He's like, Keith Sweat. I'm like, I didn't like him anyway, so, you know. I didn't listen to Keith Sweat. There's just some people I didn't like, you know, if you add up, oh, yeah, these are all the people you like. Yeah, Keith Sweat wasn't one of them. Al B. Sure, yes. Keith Sweat, no. No. It was like bubblegum music without Will Smith. You know, it was like, I mean, like, I get what you're trying to do, dude. Oh, girl, I love it. Keith Sweat never did it. He never did it. That's just me. That's just me. 833-212-1017 is the number. You know, I've been remiss. I have not checked the 833-212-1017 talking text line. I haven't checked there. I haven't. You can tell I've been gone like 3-4 days, right? You just fall off. So, Good Life said, happy birthday, Dr. Ken, and many more. Why do we tell people many more? Right? I think that's nice, by the way. That was very nice. Thank you so very much. I appreciate it. I really appreciate it. Sound like you trying to sing, though. Like, really? Trying to sing. So, here's the deal. College presidents, y'all need to do better. You need to start doing stuff to help kids and help them get through school. We've got so many regulations. Yeah, I know. But still. It's too expensive. Just too expensive. Anyway. 833-212-1017 is the number. Let me see. Sincere here, late afternoon. Reginald, good afternoon. Reginald, how are you? Lana Banana, what's going on? Kawanda. From my end, Dr. Ken and classmates, let's see if our last instructor for the day is still on his 4-day weekend gig. Wow. You roll me like that? That's terrible. That's terrible. Not really a city girl? What's going on? Then y'all start talking to each other and just forget about me. SE, what's going on? Now, see, not really a city girl said, happy belated birthday. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Sincere, Ronnie Ray Real said, happy old folks day. And see, that the reason why that doesn't bother me is because you have to actually be blessed enough to make it to that age. Because I'm telling you, many people don't. We talked about it a couple of weeks ago. Good friend of mine, Fred Johnson, passed away at 40. Vice President, Wisconsin, General Manager for Erie Insurance. Has been on the show dozens of times. Saturday show, weeks. So it's not promised. So to get my age and celebrate a birthday and love it, who was that? SC. Hey, wait, let me see who said that. Sincere, Ronnie Ray Real. Block Sincere Ronnie Ray Real, and then tear up his name, delete his Gmail account, and then go find where he at and send an electrode to blow up his phone. There we go. Okay, I'm just kidding. Let's see. Hey, y'all. Normally, people on time have time to prepare themselves before running in late trying to... Okay, see, y'all tripping. Somebody said, yep, you old because that's definitely a universal thing in getting old, compound, just to be heard and ignoring at the same time. Absolutely. Pretend like you listening and ain't thinking nothing about it when people talk. Okay, yeah, okay, all right. There you go, that's what's up. Don't care, can't repeat to you. And watch this. Not because of old age, can't repeat what they said. You actually wasn't even listening. You was thinking about where we was going to be. You're like, hey, what's going on? Okay, it's 28 minutes after the hour. I'm going to be at 5 o'clock. I'm going to be at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. Hey, what's up, Lana Banana? Reginald said, yeah, give a veteran a master's. Yeah, but you got to earn it, too. And watch this. I would even be mean enough to say only combat veterans. So if you didn't go in country, you don't get... If you didn't get combat pay, you don't get the education. That would be mean, though, wouldn't it? Yeah, that'd be mean. Kawanda said, are you freaking serious? Al be sure over Keith Sweat. Yeah, I'm leaving the class early today. And then she threw up the peace sign. She threw up the deuces. You know what I'm saying? Bye, girl. See, you forgot I told you at the beginning, because of my age, I ain't going to really care. Kawanda ain't going nowhere. She knows she tripping. You ain't going nowhere, girl. Oh, and then she said, don't do my man. So Keith Sweat is her man. Okay, well, wait a minute. Kwanda, let me help you, because let me see. Let me do this one thing before we go to break. Keith Sweat, 63 years old. Keith Sweat can't move like he used to. He can't sing like he used to. And Sincere, Ronnie Ray Real, we about to block him. He finna get blocked. Cause he like, matter of fact, we got to block Kwanda too, because she like Keith Sweat. He likes Keith Sweat, so she know. And Kwanda, just before we, how old are you? Because you be talking a lot of nonsense and talking about people's age, but you never said how old you were. Interesting. Let me take a quick look. 50 degrees right now. It's supposed to rain tomorrow. I'm looking forward to it. But I'm sorry, right now it's 63 degrees. The low tonight is 50. And winds are from the northeast at 13 miles an hour. So I guess it's not too bad. When we come back, I have a note. This must be my Dear Month or something. Dear Senator Johnson, Senator Drake, and Representative Haywood, I got a note for you when we come back. I'm just saying. It's 1017 The Truth. Dr. Ken Harris for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. There is no better time to upgrade your windows and doors than right now, because Pella is offering up to 6 years of 0% financing. Set up your free in-home consultation. You commit to nothing at this point. They'll listen to your vision, suggest Pella materials and customization to make it a really, 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 really great reality. Get 0% financing for up to 6 years. Certain restrictions apply. And the deal ends May 31st. So visit PellaWI.com. That's Pella, PellaWI.com. So that's the 31st. So today is the 27th. You got the 28th, 29th, the 30th, and the 31st. You got 4 days. That's all you got. 0% financing for up to 6 years. Windows, doors, combination, you name it. You probably need it. Because it's about to get warm outside, y'all. And if the windows don't work, that's a problem. And now with 1017 The Truth Traffic, here's Debbie Lazica.
Southbound on 41, it's a heavy ride from before Appleton Avenue all the way down past Capitol Drive. You're back on the brakes from National all the way down through the Hale onto 894 eastbound. Northbound's heavy from just before Mayfair Road all the way up past Hampton. And then westbound 94, watch for delays from 25th Street all the way past to Hawley Road. And checking the TMJ4 Storm King forecast. Tonight, mostly cloudy skies, slight chance for a shower, low of 50. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy with showers, a high of 58 at the lake, 63 inland. For the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Laziga on 1017 The Truth.
Don't touch that dial. More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris is next on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Need to look your best for a special occasion? You need the $100 hookup. This incredible deal includes a marvelous suit, shirt, and tie, all for $100. Only at Nick Cavani's, home of the $100 hookup. And that isn't limited to some standard stock suit. You'll be pleased by the top quality and variety of fashion offered at Nick Cavani's. No matter the occasion, maybe you're just ready for a fresh, new, stylish look. Get hooked up today at Nick Cavani's in Mayfair Mall and at nickcavanis.com.
Brewers and Padres action is coming at you June 6th through the 8th. Catch an electric weekend of baseball as two of the game's youngest superstars square off. The first Friday game of June means Wisconsinites can grab half-off tickets to the Brewers series opener on the 6th, then score one of the top giveaways of the season, a Jackson Churio replica jersey presented by Chevrolet for the first 25,000 ticketed fans through the gates June 7th. Get seats at brewers.com.
Great impressions will exceed your expectations. Great impressions, perceptions, everything.
At Great Impressions Graphics and Printing, they've been proudly serving the community for over 26 years. From their location at the corner of 54th and Burleigh in Milwaukee, their dedication to quality and customer satisfaction has made them a trusted name in printing and design. Great Impressions offer a wide range of services, including banners, posters, yard signs, business cards, programs, and postcards. Plus, they specialize in custom apparel printing, perfect for family reunions, sports outings, business promotions, and more. For your next project, visit greatimpress.com. That's greatimpress.com. Great Impressions. They're here when you need them.
Great impressions, perceptions, everything.
Carrie, where's Tori Lowe and Dr. Ken at? I'm trying to knock these commercials out.
How am I supposed to know, Sherwin?
Well, I'm about to do their parts because my impressions are on point anyway. This is Dr. Ken Harris from Truth in the Afternoon, and I want you to download the Truth app in the Google Play Store and Apple Store so you can never miss my show or any of the award-winning 1017 The Truth. Really, Kyle?
Sherwin, you are crazy.
Sherwin, your impression of me is horrible. Move. Give me my mic. I guess I'll just repeat what Sherwin said. Go to the Google Play Store or Apple Store to download the 1017 The Truth app today so you can take the home of Milwaukee Black Talk with you wherever you are.
Can't listen live? Download the new 1017 The Truth app on your smartphone today to catch up on all your favorite shows. Search 1017 The Truth on your Google Play Store or Apple App Store so you don't miss out on any of the action.
This Associated Bank Sports Update on 1017 The Truth is powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Brandon Snide. Milwaukee Brewers began their 3-game series against the Boston Red Sox with no time to waste as Jackson Chourio led off with a solo shot to left center to give the Brewers an early 1-0 lead. They win the game, their second in a row, this one by a final score of 3-2.
Garrett Crochet, first pitch to Jackson Chourio! Driven! Left center! See you later!
With the win, the Brewers improved to 27-28 on the season.
It always sets a tone when you come out ready, and the first hitter that you have kind of makes a statement.
Next up is the Red Sox this evening at American Family Field. First pitch set for 6:40. And lastly, over to the NBA, where OKC takes a 3-1 lead over the Minnesota Timberwolves with a 128-126 win in Game 4 on Monday evening. And Game 4 for tonight in the Eastern Conference is set. The Pacers leading 2-1. Tip-off between Knicks and Pacers set for 7 p.m. The Sports Update brought to you by Associated Bank, proudly supporting your hometown teams. Member FDIC.
You are listening to Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Don't hit me too hard. Oh, yeah. Give it to me. Give it to me. Give it to me.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. One of the reasons why it sounds the same because it's all from that New Jack Swing era. Anyway, 833. DJ Brother Z putting his thumb like, man, it's trash. Your generation ain't done nothing original in your life. Yeah, turn this mic on because he talking trash. Now, put some headphones on too so you can hear me hollering at you. I still can't hear you. What? New Jack Swing was the worst era of music? Were you alive during New Jack Swing? No. So if you weren't alive during it, you can't say anything about it. Be quiet. Pumpkinhead. That's all I got. I can't like, he taller than me. He way more than me. He's younger than me. Like, what I'm going to do? Today, Dr. Ken went missing after going home after his show. I mean, it's an acquired taste, just like mumble rap. It's an acquired taste. 833-212-1017 is the number. So, my good friends. Well, I've met one, and then I know the others, but Senators Tanya Johnson and Dora Drake and Representative Kaylin Haywood are asking the Social Development Commission to give up their designation as a community action agency at once. So their May 22nd letter to the board says doing so is the only responsible path forward. Without this designation, SDC isn't eligible for millions of federal Community Block Services block grant funds effective July 3rd. The three elected officials said it's a necessary decision for the Wisconsin Department of Children and Families to terminate SDC's status as a community action agency. The letter argues that if SDC appeals the department's decision, it risks losing $1.18 million in anti-poverty program funds and delaying Milwaukee County's access to rent assistance, food security. Why don't we just call, I don't know why we keep changing names to things to make it sound better when in fact it doesn't sound better at all. It's not food security. It's ridiculous. Hunger and workforce development services. So appealing the decision could run up against the September 30th deadline to spend $1.18 million in community services block grant funds, because if you don't, you got to give them back. Make sense? The letter urges SDC not to appeal. With SDC out of the picture, another organization can delegate the funds to anti-poverty services in Milwaukee County. That, I have to say, Johnson, Drake, Haywood, excellent. You did phenomenal. The Anti-Poverty Agency had a $30 million operating budget and once offered dozens of programs. It has struggled since its misallocation of more than $100,000 in state funds surfaced last year. Department of Administration forensic audit of the agency is ongoing, and the Department of Workforce Development recently sued the agency over wages owed to employees. How? Like how that even happened? Like how? So the money that you had left, what you should have done is paid the people who were supposed to be paid. But you couldn't even do that. On top of that, you get sued for not paying people, even though, if I'm not mistaken, and I can be corrected, you said that you would pay your employees through a certain day. Clearly you didn't. Back pay for former employees. The Wisconsin Department of Justice filed a lawsuit against the Social Development Commission. And according to court records, the Department of Justice filed it alleging that they failed to pay $359,609.73 in wages and benefits owed to former employees. The department is seeking to double that amount as a penalty for willful failure to pay. Here's my question. Are you going to give those employees that extra money? Because if you're not, don't give it to the state of Wisconsin. One woman is claiming she needs $4,800 in back pay. So what are we going to do? What are we going to do? What SDC should do is follow the urging of Senator Johnson, Senator Drake, and Representative Kaylin Haywood, and simply give up the designation so the county can get the money and still take care of those same people. So instead of going to SDC, they can go to the county. Like it's just plain and simple to do. It's just simple. And so at some point, we got to stop complaining that it's a black agency, because it's not. It serves all poverty throughout the county. The problem that we need to blame, the people we need to blame, is the board. They did not live up to their fiduciary responsibility to do their jobs, to do the audits, and to do the thing. They didn't do something because money was misappropriated and mishandled and misallocated. And we still don't know whether or not any was stolen. But there's no reason. Just like MPS. There's no reason. There's absolutely no reason why those things happened. The state let them get away with it, which is why you should not have elected that woman, the state superintendent. Underly, she should not be the state superintendent. She is a byproduct of the public system, just like every other person, and she's going to give in like every other person. When it comes to education, this is me talking. There's no such thing as public versus private versus charter. A child being educated is a child being educated. You having a certified teacher is not going to guarantee you get a great education. Look at MPS. And most kids at MPS get a great education. There's a number of them that don't. But do you need that many employees? Do you really need that many employees for only 62,000 kids? It's hard enough to teach already. And so they have a superintendent that's coming in and making change and doing things. And you know how you can tell somebody's doing something great? Everybody mad at her. Well, not everybody, but a lot of people are mad at her. And it's unfortunate because when you want change, when you want growth, when you want people to be held accountable for their job, you actually complain about it, which is just weird to me. Students who will only get 2 types of payment schedules, and it's simple, and these are what your payments are. Schools are complaining because what it does, it takes the veil off of how you're going to be paying for your school, which means when students see what they're actually going to be paying for their school, school might not be $20,000 a year. School might actually be $38,000 a year when you're done. And they might say, yeah, no, we're not going to do that. So there are a lot of things that are going to change in education top to bottom. Do I like all of them? Absolutely not. There's some things the Trump administration are getting 100% wrong. But there are also some things that the Biden administration got 100% wrong. So we'll look into it. But then, since we're talking about the Biden administration, sometimes the Trump administration, well, the word I would use for the Trump administration, petty.
Don't touch that dial. More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. Coming with straight truth.
I wonder how many of these kids that's running around here, if they tested them for lead, look up lead crisis in different townships and look at the behavior and then look at what's going on in Milwaukee and match it up. Do your little research. Go get your thumbs instead of getting in the comments and arguing with folks. Go look up the side effects of a lead poison environment, then watch the news.
Catch the Tory Lowe Show every weekday from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m.
It's 1017 The Truth. Dr. Ken Harris for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. There's no better time to upgrade your windows and doors than right now because you can get up to 6 years of 0% financing at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Yes, no interest for up to 72 months and the full Pella experience is always included. That means the Pella team is with you from start to finish. They don't disappear after the work is done. Set up your free in-home consultation. You commit to nothing at this point. A Pella design expert will listen to your vision and then present the different colors, sizes, and customizations needed to make that vision a reality. It can feel overwhelming to consider what feels like limitless possibilities, but Pella's design team can help narrow those options down for you to create that dream upgrade. Hurry! Get 0% financing for up to 6 years. Certain restrictions apply, and the deal ends May 31st, 2025. So visit PellaWI.com today.
Tired of hearing no from other banks? No to a loan? No to a checking account? Just no? At Brewery Credit Union, they find ways to say yes. Yes to second chances. Yes to rebuilding credit. Yes to helping you save, borrow, and thrive. Work with your credit specialist and move your financial life forward. Brewery Credit Union, Milwaukee's best place to borrow and save. Visit brewerycu.com. That is brewerycu.com. Federally insured by NCUA.
Immerse yourself in a place where bold ideas are sought after, where all are encouraged to bring their personal flourish. Here, innovation is a way of life. In this city, the beat flows. Together, we're dancing to the rhythm. Forward. Now, it's your turn to grab hold of that energy where you'll remember not just the meals, the celebrations, or the uncommon coast. What you'll remember is how we made you feel. Come experience Milwaukee, where fresh meets fearless every day.
When you're high, you feel different. Pretty obvious, right? You think different, talk different, but if you feel different, you drive different. So if you're high, just don't drive. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Happy kids heal faster, and that's why Starlight is dedicated to improving the mental well-being of sick kids across the U.S. Learn how at starlight.org.
Serious truck crash? Call Gruber Law Offices today.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. That's not the original. Who made that? What's the name? Isley Brothers? Sounds like a later version. Oh, I'm sorry. You can do that when you know there are multiple versions and stuff. Y'all not old enough to know we got multiple. Oh, you see the face he blew? I love it. I got a friend of mine that does that same face. Yep, that same face. That's how you know you're getting this. Anybody that's under the age of like 45, when you say things and you get on them and they don't have anything to come back with and they give you that face, you know you got them. That's all right. Which is something I like about that generation too, because they don't hold anything in at all. If they don't like something, that's nasty. They'll tell you like upfront, straightforward, and personal, they don't like that. Or they really like it and they really want it, so give them some. Like there's no, oh, excuse me. So you think I would be like, no, they're not gonna do that. You're like, excuse me, yeah, I want that. Like, excuse me? I like that hat. But it's my hat. Yeah, but I want that. Is it sort of like being a child your whole life? You just ask your parents for everything. Hey, can I have? Except now it transferred over to everybody. Because I told y'all I'm at that age now where I don't really care. But I mean, I really don't care. So now I can just show it by just simply not responding. So you see this? I've been trying to put this watch on for like a half hour. And every time I try to put it on, something happens or I drop it and then it falls over. Part of that was because I drove too much this weekend and I had too much time to think. And I was able to think things through. So here's the pettiness. I think the Trump administration, before the break, we were talking about the Trump administration and Biden and all that and loans and schools and all that. Fox6now.com has a story. The FBI has announced it will investigate cases, some from the Biden-era White House. Deputy Director Dan Bongino announced Monday on social media. Bongino, who's a former right-wing podcaster, that's weird, then listed some cases that the Bureau will either reopen or push additional resources and investigative attention. Now, the way they wrote former right-wing podcaster, would you ever write that about a former left-wing podcaster? Or, you know what I'm saying? Because you never get that in a story when it's talking about one. I just want balance. That's all I really want is balance. This is not, and so this shows bias. It's just strange. It just shows bias. The D.C. bombing, remember the D.C. pipe bombing investigation? They want to reopen that one. They want to reopen the Dobbs decision that got leaked from the Supreme Court. You're telling me you went through all that trouble, and how inept is the FBI that they couldn't find who leaked the decision when only 9 people and their staff knew about the doggone thing? Bizarre. Just bizarre. They should ruin that person's career, and they should never work in the legal field again. Ever. Whether you agreed with it or not. You almost caused a civil uprising because it was something you didn't like, you should probably not be a lawyer, because I would not trust that person to do the right thing, to follow the rule of law. I wouldn't. And they should have their license revoked. They should have their law degree stripped, and they should never. You know what I would do? If they went to law school, I would give them their money back. I was like, you're terrible as a lawyer, and you should get your money back. And you should not ever, 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 ever pounce on someone else because you don't like what they think or say or do. But we have a story in the top 5 at 5 that actually goes into something I agree with when they stomped on what a person said. And in this instance, I actually agree. Do I sound like am I talking out of both sides of my mouth? Yeah, I am. But what it comes down to is you have to look at everything based on the rule of law. And when you don't, that's a problem. When you start putting descriptions of people like left wing, right wing, try Democratic or Republican or something like that. Things people understand. That's things that aren't divisive and things that don't cause uproar, make people mad. So, I don't know. You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. Remember, in a few, top 5 at 5.
This is 1017 The Truth, Kyle Wallace, and the time is now, Milwaukee. Truth to Power is your platform. And on my show, our community always has a voice. There is no topic that is off limits, and I always give you my authentic opinions on how I feel, because keeping it real is the only way I know how to get down. Listen to Truth to Power with me, Kyle Wallace, every day from noon to 1 p.m. on the award-winning 1017 The Truth app, and streaming live on YouTube at 1017 The Truth. Milwaukee Black Talk. Tune into the award-winning 1017 The Truth Black Business Spotlight this Friday at 3:57 p.m. between the Tori Lowe Show and Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris. I'll be joined by Linnell Norton, owner of Circle of Friends Adult Day Program. We will discuss the safe, secure, and fun setting they provide to adults with special needs. So again, that is the Black Business Give Back Spotlight with Circle of Friends Adult Day Program this Friday at 3:57 p.m. on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
Metastatic breast cancer, or stage 4 breast cancer, happens when cancer spreads beyond the breast to other parts of the body. About 168,000 women are living with it today, with Black women at a higher risk due to various factors. Research has led to treatments that help manage the disease and improve quality of life. The Everyday Counts study explores how nutrition and exercise coaching can support women with metastatic breast cancer. To learn more about the Everyday Counts study in Milwaukee, call 414-955-8819 or email edc@mcw.edu. If you or someone you know has stage 4 breast cancer, please encourage them to call and enroll in this valuable study. Again, call 414-955-8819 or email edc@mcw.edu.
The more you listen to your kids, the closer you'll be. So we asked kids, what do you want your parents to hear?
I feel sometimes that I'm not listened to. I would just want you to listen to me more often and evaluate situations with me and lead me towards success.
We're not adults, so just be there and listen. I just want someone to yap to. And I just feel like I'll be fine if someone just hears me talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk.
You're doing a really good job. And I don't think I tell you that enough. And I know sometimes we get into it and it's just hard on both of us. But try to understand me more and I'll try to do the same.
Listening is a form of love. Find resources to help you support your kids and their emotional well-being at sounditouttogether.org. That's sounditouttogether.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and Pivotal.
Milwaukee's Black Talk lives here. You are listening to 1017 FM, 1510 AM WGKB Waukesha, and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. This is your 1017 The Truth News Update.
Hello, everyone. This is Rhea Riley with your news update. Another Milwaukee public school is close to reopening after lead hazards. The Milwaukee Health Department says Lafayette Elementary has finished its lead renovation work this week. MPS staff are currently waxing and sealing floors in preparation for a deep cleaning next Tuesday. MHD also plans to conduct dust sweep clearance tests on June 3rd. Brown Street and Westside Academies are closed for the rest of the school year as part of ongoing lead remediation cleanups. In Waukesha at Oak Hill Terrace Senior Living Center,
it sounds like they're reporting 8 people fighting in the lobby.
Audio courtesy of Broadcastify describes a large fight that left adults and juveniles injured Thursday afternoon. Police say a dispute began among several employees and escalated when another group of people forcibly entered the lobby. Several people and a juvenile were assaulted. One victim was kicked in the head, another had their phone stolen and later found destroyed on Interstate 94. Waukesha police are seeking multiple suspects who could face charges of battery, disorderly conduct, and child abuse. Jury selection is underway in a high-profile Milwaukee murder trial. 34-year-old Maxwell Anderson is accused of killing 19-year-old Sade Robinson in April of last year. Police said the two were seen together on a date just hours before Robinson was reported missing. Her burned car was found shortly afterwards, and over the following days, her dismembered remains were discovered in multiple locations across southeast Wisconsin and even northern Illinois. Anderson faces 3 felony charges, including homicide and mutilating a corpse. He has pleaded not guilty. This has been your news update. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris continues on the new 1017 The Truth.
Bringing you his authentic perspectives on important topics.
They live in suburbs together. They live in the city together. They hang out together, all in the same family. We're the only idiots that fight because we want our voice to only be on one side. Like, does that even make any sense? And when the side loses, you lose everything. They, on the other hand, have a voice no matter what because somebody that looks like them is always in control.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point.
Well, it's just a skewed system.
Of course it is.
It's a lot of judgment.
But answer my question, though. Should we let people go? Should we let people go? Like, let's just forget about bail altogether. And if your neighbor commits a homicide and kills people up, if you kill people and they next to you and you just let them come back and live right next to you, they can live upstairs from you. Let them come in your house.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point. This is the best radio show in the state of Wisconsin. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth and the Truth app.
Now, he's the mayor of the city of Milwaukee. He's a young man. Give him a chance. I only complain about things that I care about. What I want you to do is pretend like I'm in St. Louis. And all I'm asking the mayor and the Common Council president and the Common Council, show me.
Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is Dr. Ken Harris.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. What's your biggest fear on the radio? Like, what would your biggest fear be? Mine is belching on air. Like, sometime I've been talking and I feel it. It's coming. Because you talk so much and you're in and out with air and all that. So, I don't know, it's kind of weird, kind of bizarre. You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. After my top 5 at 5, I got to check the talk and text line because, you know, I can't leave them on there too long because then they'd be talking stuff like, what do I want for dinner? Like, really? Like, really? Really? Okay. Reginald said Fred Johnson passed away. Just saw him at the Saturday Shindig hosted in late. Yep, sure did. Sure did. You sure did. Fred was there. Yep. at the community event. Yep. So, anyway, 833, y'all trip. Ooh. So people are on this thing about cap and gown cat kickers. Y'all be on something. Y'all on something. Are y'all on the talking text line during the day? Because by the time y'all get to the afternoon, something be wrong. Like something in y'all, milk bowl or something. something in there, because, y'all be tripping. But I was talking before the break about the Supreme Court. Well,
number 5.
Here it is from FoxNews.com. The Supreme Court did something that I agree with. Supreme Court declined to hear a case involving a Massachusetts student who was banned from school for wearing a shirt criticizing the transgender movement. So here's the deal. This shirt does not criticize the transgender movement. The shirt the kid wore said, "There are only 2 genders." I happen to agree with that. Because even if you're transing from one gender to the other, so there's still only 2 genders. What are we doing? If you don't want to consider yourself a gender, okay. Other people that consider you a gender or don't, okay. There's no, I'm only speaking for me. There's no disrespect intended. There's no disrespect that I'm trying. It comes down to loving and accepting people for who they are. Well, the student, Liam Morrison, brought the case through his father and stepmother, Christopher and Susan Morrison. The plaintiffs argued that Nicholas Middle School violated his free speech rights when it banned him from wearing 2 T-shirts to school with the words, "There are only 2 genders. There are blank genders" on the front. So Liam was sent home both times after he refused to change shirts. The school argued the shirts made his classmates feel unsafe, which is kind of a dumb argument. It's kind of stupid, but, a federal court agreed, of course, saying that the message was demeaning for transgender students. Judge Clarence Thomas and Samuel Alito both issued separate dissents, arguing the court should have taken up the case. The case comes nearly a year after the First Circuit Court of Appeals ruled against Liam and his parents in June of 2024, finding that the school was justified in asking him to remove the shirt and sending him home when he refused. Now, here's my issue. He had no business wearing the shirt because you were in a public school. It had nothing to do with him demeaning. Now, if there's a reason, I think they should have gone after the reason more specifically as to why, because people have a right to demean whoever they want. But to say you told him and threw him out of school because he was demeaning students and students felt unsafe. Black students have felt that way in schools for 500 years, 450 years, and nobody's ever done anything about it, but maybe once or twice. So if you sat in a class and watched students feel uneasy and unsafe and did nothing about it, but yet when someone comes in with a transgender shirt, all of a sudden you want to step up and be courageous, you are useless. Either you're that way for everybody or you're that way for nobody. Guess what school is for? Ideas, knowledge, experience, growth. Should have had a conversation about it instead of this kid offending your sensibilities about your politics, which have no place. Transgender has no place in school, just like gender has no place in school. Like, how old are you that you need to come in and put this shirt on? Your parents put that shirt on you. And so at some point, we, as both liberal and Democrat, need to leave our politics out of schools. Teachers need to leave their politics out of school. And that's just it. Somebody will try again. Someone will try. And so Morrison, who was in 7th grade at the time, was sent home after he refused to take off the shirt. According to court documents, he later wore the same shirt with the words "only 2" covered with a piece of tape on which that said "censored," and they made him take the shirt off. So the father, or should I say Liam himself, stressed that this shirt was not directed toward anyone, specifically people who are lesbian or gay or transgender or anything like that. He said, I'm just voicing my opinion about a statement that I believe to be true. And I feel like some people may think I'm imposing hate speech, even though it's not directed towards anybody. Well, one, it's not hate speech. It's not hate speech to a point where a fight's going to break out or something's going to, right? However, the issue was you shouldn't be wearing the shirt to school because it's a school. If you can't wear Jesus shirts, you can't wear Muslim shirts, you can't wear Buddhist shirts, you can't do any of that stuff. Now, I don't know where it ends. Do you stop people from doing yoga? I don't know. I'm just saying. But at some point, your freedom stops when you walk into a school and it's open to everybody else. Like there's some places where this nonsense has to stop. You could have said you were not anti-trans, you just believe there's two genders. That doesn't necessarily mean you're anti-transgender. Any more so than I believe, or being a heterosexual man, that I'm against gay men. I'm not. But it's okay to have a preference and to speak your preference. And I think that's what's happening is we're shutting off people's rights, not because they don't have a right to say it, but because we don't agree with what they're saying. And that I have a problem with. And so I think in this instance, those teachers used it as an excuse, but they really just didn't agree with what the kid was saying. And instead of taking that time as a teaching moment and sitting down and having a conversation in a class and working it out, they just took the easy way. Now, my question is, who paid for all that money to pay for that case to go all the way to the Supreme Court? Interesting. However, you know, the Diddy trial is still going on, right? The Sade Robinson, the Maxwell Anderson, whatever that knucklehead's name is going on. Guess what I found out? Diddy has at least 255 friends in Florida.
Number 4.
Well. This from FoxNews.com. So there seems to be an issue with the fact that the sheriff found 26 illegal migrants that were not on the federal radar among 255 people arrested in Florida in a sex trafficking scheme. So if you think about that, that's a lot. If you think about that, that's a heap of whole. Is that a word, heap of whole? That's a heap of whole bunch of people. It really is. So there was a raid in Florida where the sheriff's department ends up arresting 255 people for what they believe was a sex ring. And so when they thought it was a sex ring, they started going through the people they arrested, only to find out later that some of the people they arrested weren't quite the people that they thought. And so out of these people, they got people like, you know, former NFL player, a medical doctor, and people from all different walks of life. A multi-level operation named Fool Around and Find Out. You gotta love it. Project Fool Around and Operation Fool Around and Find Out. Nabbed 255 suspected human traffickers, child sex predators, and illegal migrants in Central Florida. Polk County, Florida operation conducted over 9 days this month resulted in the arrest of the highest number of individuals ever recorded in a single sting by the sheriff's office. Sheriff Grady Judd told Fox Digital that the operation was a coordinated effort with multiple law enforcement partners, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, which was embedded for the first time with the Central Florida Department. We made a lot of arrests, really. Our team prepped in advance. We know what places to go on social media to find those evil people or to set up for them to come to us. So they did a remarkable job. One of the most startling revelations, 36 illegal migrants. 26 of them had checked in with federal authorities. 26 of them were not even on the government's radar. They had snuck into the country and didn't check in. Former NFL football player was arrested. So they got a medical doctor, an executive from the American Red Cross, active and retired military personnel, and Darius Taylor, former NFL player, got arrested. Prior to retirement in 2020, Taylor played for the Carolina Panthers, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and Cleveland Browns. Judd recounted that the ex-NFL player left his young, medically vulnerable child alone in a car while he allegedly sought sexual favors from an undercover officer posing as a prostitute. Another suspect allegedly visited the operation while his wife was battling cancer at home. Detectives charged a total of 102 felonies and 284 misdemeanors during the investigation. The suspect's prior criminal histories included a combination of 400 felonies and 519 misdemeanors with charges like, premeditated murder, attempted murder, kidnapping, robbery, aggravated battery, and sexual assault. So anybody that says your tax dollars aren't going to work, your tax dollars ain't getting, their bang for their buck, not true.
Number 3.
You know who Byron Allen is?
I do not.
Oh, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. Starting September 22nd, Comics Unleashed with Byron Allen will be coming to late night slot on CBS, taking over the slot currently occupied by After Midnight with Taylor Tomlinson, who is stepping away from the show and slot to focus on her comedy career. Right. Okay. Hey, I know you're doing well, but Dr. Ken is stepping away from the microphone to take care of a personal issue. Or did you get fired? Okay. Which one is it? Comics Unleashed with Byron Allen is a show hosted by Byron Allen featuring a wide range of comedians from Roy Wood Jr., Margaret Cho, to Cat Williams and Chelsea Handler, and everybody in between. The show launched in September 2006 and has featured over 550 comedians. That's according to the Wrap. So I don't know if you remember him, right? He's chairman of Allen Media Group, parent company for The Griot, owns a number of TV stations around the country and tried to buy BET a few months ago, was competing with Tyler Perry. So that'll be good to see him back on TV. And I'm sure he'll do great. I'm looking forward to that. I am definitely looking forward to that. I'm also looking forward to the fact that 4th and 8th graders in Wisconsin were above average in math, but I don't really know what this means.
Number 2.
So, bottom line was from Urban Milwaukee, K-12 students are learning math, and I don't ask kids about math nowadays because they don't do math the way I did math. They got new math, and they got to show the way they do it, and you can only do it their way. You can't do it your way. Like, you'll actually get marked wrong if you do math not the new way, which I think is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. And then I realized the idiot teacher doesn't know how to do math the old way. There's no way they could check the work anyway. And I went, oh, that's why. Okay, got it. Don't they teach math teachers different ways of doing the same problem? That if we multiply one way in my generation and today's generation multiplies in a different way, I don't really know how. Maybe does division? I don't know. But somehow they come up with the right answer and it's a shortcut, I say, God bless them, right? Nope. You didn't calculate this the right way and you didn't show your work, therefore you fail. Huh? Isn't the whole point of getting it? Yeah. Well, in the latest national report card by the National Center for Education Statistics, Wisconsin students in 2024 ranked above the national average for math performance on both the 4th grade and the 8th grade classes. But disparities between classrooms across the state show nearly a quarter of 4th grade students remain behind on basic math literacy or numeracy. What is numeracy? Addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. Wisconsin Public Radio's Wisconsin Today, a panel of math educators discussed the state of mathematics education in Wisconsin. So I don't know if you can take studies from a large group like Wisconsin and say whether or not they're doing good or not. You got to go from school district to school district. One person said the key to successfully teaching math to students begins with being open to the idea that students should be thinking about the structures of math beyond just memorization. But we're talking 4th and 8th grade. Anyway, math classrooms nowadays definitely look different from when I was younger, so to be able to see it in action is very different than just hearing about it. Because also we need to be able to ask the questions to get the students thinking, which is something I had to learn through the years, and it didn't come naturally at first. So the teacher taught you something that didn't come naturally, which is why you're in school anyway, to learn. Okay, yeah. And this is why you don't talk to teachers from up north and from northern Ozaukee County to talk about stuff, when in fact what we're not doing is talking about places like Milwaukee and Milwaukee County. That's all. That's all. Hispanic 8th graders scored 20 points lower than their white counterparts. The students who identified as economically disadvantaged scored 25 points lower than non-disadvantaged peers. Only 9% of 4th graders in NPS performed at or above the proficiency level, down from 12% in 2022. 15% of 8th graders in NPS were proficient. That is an abysmal score, especially in a school district where 48% of the students are black. Black 4th grade students in Wisconsin scored 45 points lower than their white peers, while black 8th graders scored 39 points lower. So there are different reasons for that, because NPS is I can't say aggregated because it's not. It's separated from that. Separated from it. NPS was the only Wisconsin school district that had its test results separated from the state data. NPS is not outperforming any other urban school districts for 4th grade reading score. So that means you're only comparing them to other predominantly large cities. But does outperform Cleveland and Detroit for its 8th grade scores. Nationally, 4th and 8th graders are not making the level of progress needed to regain ground lost during the pandemic, which is why they need to what? They need to be in school year-round. Somebody asked, where are the signs of recovery? They're mostly in math and largely driven by high-performing students. Lower-performing students are struggling, especially in reading, and that's understandable. However, black students had an average score that was 47 points lower than white students, while Hispanic students had an average score that was 26 points lower. In math, 4th grade male students performed 5 points higher than females, but female students scored 10 points higher than male students in reading. 37% of Wisconsin 8th graders were proficient in math, but black 8th graders scored 50 points lower, Hispanic students 33 points lower. In NPS, 12% of 4th graders and 8% of 8th graders were proficient in math. That's atrocious. The only other urban school district NPS is outperforming is Detroit. And Underly is asking the state for $4 billion increase for Wisconsin public schools for 2025-2027. That money would increase the special education rate over 90% by 2027, provide free lunch meals to all students, and increase mental health services. Where in here does it say they learn education? Where in here does it say we're hiring teachers for reading and math? Where? Oh, that's right. It doesn't.
Number 1.
Well, for those of you who don't understand Black history, for those of you that have a question about Black history, let me remind you, yesterday, a library closed. Former United States Representative Charles Rangel of New York, an outspoken, gravelly-voiced Harlem Democrat who spoke nearly every type of argument you can for the advancement of Black folks in America, spent 5 decades on Capitol Hill, founding member of the Congressional Black Caucus, passed away yesterday. He was 94. His family confirmed the death in a statement provided by the City College of New York spokesperson Michelle Stent. He died at a hospital in New York. A veteran of the Korean War, he defeated legendary Harlem politician Adam Clayton Powell in 1970 to start his congressional career, and during his next 40-plus year career, he became a legend himself, a founding member of Congressional Black Caucus, dean of the New York Congressional Delegation, and in 2007, the first African-American to chair the powerful Ways and Means Committee. And if you don't know anything about the Ways and Means Committee, everything financial, everything about money, every budget that's in America has to come through the Ways and Means Committee. And he decided what went into it and what didn't, whether or not it was going to come out of committee and whether it didn't. He went on to serve in Congress until 2017 when he decided not to seek re-election. Rangel was one of the Gang of Four African-American political figures who wielded great power in the New York state and city, along with David Dinkins, the New York's first Black mayor, Percy Sutton, a Manhattan borough president, and Basil Patterson, a deputy mayor and New York State Secretary of State. Few could forget, after hearing him talk, his distinctive gravelly toned voice and wry sense of humor were a great mix. I remember meeting him once in Washington, D.C. Let me just tell you, he was a guy, and he will be sorely missed. If politicians today on either side could stand up to the heat and the issues that he did over his 94 years, you know what? I'd call you a library too.
Don't touch that dial. More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
This is Sherwin Hughes from The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. And Truth Nation, you can now watch my show live on YouTube every day from 9 a.m. until noon. Yep, you can get 3 full hours of watching Sherwin doing his thing streaming live on YouTube Monday through Friday. You'll get the same insightful conversations about policy, politics, and lifestyle while also seeing my reaction to the unpredictability of our listeners. So go to YouTube right now and subscribe to 1017 The Truth and see this wonderful smile live every day.
It's 1017 The Truth. Dr. Ken Harris for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. There's no better time to upgrade your windows and doors than right now, because you can get up to 6 years of 0% financing at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Yes, no interest for up to 72 months, and the full Pella experience is always included. That means the Pella team is with you from start to finish. They don't disappear after the work is done. Set up your free in-home consultation. You commit to nothing at this point. A Pella design expert will listen to your vision and then present the different colors, sizes, and customizations needed to make that vision a reality. It can feel overwhelming to consider what feels like limitless possibilities, but Pella's design team can help narrow those options down for you to create that dream upgrade. Hurry! Get 0% financing for up to 6 years. Certain restrictions apply, and the deal ends May 31st, 2025. So visit PellaWI.com today.
At We Energies, Energies, we're committed to building a bright, sustainable energy future. We're investing in clean energy projects like solar, wind, and battery storage. As a leader in the decarbonization effort, our goal is to achieve net zero carbon emissions from our generation fleet by 2050. It's part of our plan to provide the affordable, reliable, and clean energy you depend on. Learn more at weenergies.com. We Energies, people you can trust, energy you can depend on. This message was paid for by the stockholders of WEC Energy Group.
Sharon needed legal help. She needed Gruber Law Offices.
When I think about Gruber Law Office, I think about how they took care of me, how they make sure that you get what you're supposed to get. Gruber Law Office. One call, that's all. I will always trust one call, that's all.
Injured? Call Gruber Law Offices today. One call, that's all.
They are the best. I'm very happy.
Tired of hearing no from other banks? No to a loan? No to a checking account? Just no? At Brewery Credit Union, they find ways to say yes. Yes to second chances. Yes to rebuilding credit. Yes to helping you save, borrow, and thrive. Work with your credit specialist and move your financial life forward. Brewery Credit Union, Milwaukee's best place to borrow and save. Visit brewerycu.com. That is brewerycu.com. Federally insured by NCUA.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. So back in the day when you had songs like this, they made a version to play on the radio that was 3.5 minutes, 2.5 minutes, and then they had an EP, extended play. It would be like one side of an entire album that had one song on it. So I'm just saying. Just trying to help a brother out because you don't know what records are. You know what records are? Like actual records?
Yes, I know what records are.
I know you do. I'm just, records with vinyl and stuff, and it has that rough.
People my age collect them.
It's so cute. He collects them. It's so cute. Wow. That's so cute. People my age collect them. Like a Barbie doll. Look, Ma, I've got a record. If you had a Barbie doll when I was a kid, and then you had it in the original wrapper now, you could probably make a lot of money off that thing. Yeah. I had somebody look at a turntable and go, "What is that?" I was like, "Wait, what? You don't know what a turntable looks like? What do you use it for?" "To play records." "What are those?" "What are those?" Yeah. You know what I asked? What are those? That's what people on Southwest Airlines are going to be asking next week. What are those? Yeah. So Southwest Airlines has put a price tag on checking bags, finally, a coveted free perk that's about to disappear as part of substantial changes the carrier is making to its service. You mean we need to make more money, so we got to charge more for seats and do this and that and all that. So for flights booked on May 28th and after, which is, you ready? Tomorrow. Check bags, first bag will be $35, the second bag, $45. So wouldn't you think it would be $45 and $35, right? Like the first one, you get more. You get charged more and then cheaper. But what they're trying to do is discourage you from checking more than one bag. So if they can do that, they're just going to charge you $35 for the first one, but $45. I would have charged $50. I would have pretty much guaranteed we only get one bag. But can I still carry bags on? Well, I don't know. If the ticket was bought prior to Wednesday, tomorrow, the customer will still receive 2 free check bags the company announced. There are some exceptions, however. Members of the A-list tier of its Rapid Rewards loyalty program, holders of the credit card branded, and those traveling on a business fare will be exempt from the charges. Southwest fees are aligned with other carriers, Delta, American, United, charging between $35 and $40 for the first check bag. Other airlines, JetBlue, Frontier, charge different fees depending on various factors, including if it's purchased online or departure date. Southwest has always offered free bags since the airline started 60 years ago and kept the policy in place when its competitors started adding and increasing fees. In fact, the carrier has trademarked its Bags Fly Free slogan, which was part of its advertising, but adding these fees will likely instantly boost its bottom line because Southwest has 2 to 3 times as many checked bags as other airlines. Despite not charging for the first 2 bags, Southwest made $83 million in just checked bag fees in last year. That's according to the Department of Transportation statistics. Southwest charges, you ready? So if the first bag is $35 and the second bag is $45, what's the third check bag? Anybody know? What's the third check bag?
60.
60? What about an overweight luggage? How much? Like golf clubs and, crap like that.
I'll say 75.
So, $35 for the first, $45 for the second, $150 for the third, and $200 for overweight luggage.
Damn!
Among other fees. Now, $83 million in baggage fees in 2024. American Airlines made $1.5 billion last year in baggage fees. United, $1.3 billion, and Delta, $1 billion. So, bottom line is Southwest has to come into the 2020s in order to start being more financially viable. So, yeah. I wonder what's next, though. Is it the seats? Like, do we have to worry about the seats now? I wonder. Do we have to worry about seats? I wonder if we have to worry about seats. I don't know. Hey, when we come back, I want to talk about DEI again. I want to talk about it from the point of view of who's working and who's not. And now with 101.7 The Truth Traffic, here's Debbie Lazica.
Westbound 894, we do still have this accident blocking the left lane just past Loomis. That's backing things up into the Mitchell interchange, so be prepared for a slow ride. We've also got eastbound 894 slowing down out of the Hale interchange all the way to about 35th Street. Southbound on the bypass slowing out of the Zoo interchange down past National Avenue. And eastbound 94, we've got a heavy ride from Highway 16 all the way to Springdale Road, back on the brakes through the Zoo interchange all the way to about Hawley Road. Westbound slowing down through the Marquette all the way to Mitchell Boulevard. And checking the TMJ4 Storm King forecast. Tonight, mostly cloudy, a slight chance for a shower, a low of 50. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy with showers, a high of 58 at the lake, 63 inland. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Laziga on 101.7 The Truth.
Don't touch that dial. More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris is next on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here, reminding you that a lot of life's firsts are better with help from American Family Insurance. Like your first home expansion or your first big lightning strike. There's a first for everything. Get the right home policy at the right price with the right help from American Family's agents. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Immerse yourself in a place where bold ideas are sought after, where all are encouraged to bring their personal flourish. Here, innovation is a way of life. In this city, the beat flows. Together, we're dancing to the rhythm. Forward. Now, it's your turn to grab hold of that energy, where you'll remember not just the meals, the celebrations, or the uncommon coast. What you'll remember is how we made you feel. Come experience Milwaukee, where fresh meets fearless every day.
It's time for Truth Takes, a thought-provoking commentary on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. Here is Dr. Ken Harris with his truth.
You know, in life, our journey is not meant to be walked alone. As much as self-reliance and independence are celebrated, we need an inner circle, a group of trusted friends who uplift, challenge, and remind us of our purpose. Your inner circle is more than just companionship. It's your compass. These are the people who see your potential when self-doubt clouds your vision, who tell you the truth, even when it's uncomfortable, and who stand beside you when the weight of the world feels unbearable. You know, the value of an inner circle is not just in the emotional support, but in accountability. They hold us to our highest standards, ensuring we don't settle for mediocrity. It's through this circle that we refine our thoughts, grow in character and courage to face life's battles. Today is no exception. Choose wisely. Surround yourself with people who inspire you, energize you, and believe in your dreams as much as you do. They will then shape your growth, strengthen your resilience, and celebrate your victories. You know, James Baldwin once said, "The place in which I will fit will not exist until I make it." Your inner circle is part of that place, a foundation for your growth, your success, and most importantly, belonging.
This has been Truth Takes on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. Listen to The Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris, weekdays from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m.
This Associated Bank Sports Update on 1017 The Truth is powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Brandon Sneid. Milwaukee Brewers began their three-game series against the Boston Red Sox with no time to waste as Jackson Chourio led off with a solo shot to left center to give the Brewers an early 1-0 lead. They win the game, their second in a row, this one by a final score of 3-2.
Garrett Crochet, first pitch to Jackson Chourio! Driven! Left center! See you later!
With the win, the Brewers improved to 27-28 on the season.
It always sets a tone when you come out ready, and the first hitter that you have kind of makes a statement.
Next up is the Red Sox this evening at American Family Field. First pitch set for 6:40. And lastly, over to the NBA, where OKC takes a 3-1 lead over the Minnesota Timberwolves with a 128-126 win in Game 4 on Monday evening. And Game 4 for tonight in the Eastern Conference is set. The Pacers leading 2-1. Tip-off between Knicks and Pacers set for 7 p.m. The Sports Update brought to you by Associated Bank, proudly supporting your hometown teams. Member FDIC.
You are listening to Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Oh, what you gonna do? You wanna get down? Tell me. Oh, what you gonna do? Do you wanna get down? Oh, what you gonna do? You wanna get out?
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. Wayne on the talk and text line. 833-212-1017 is the number. Said at some point, we will not have COVID for a reason for the underperformance. We are now 4 years out, and kids being back in the classroom for kids entering kindergarten will have no impact from COVID. Well, yes and no. So some of the resources that you get even pre-4K and pre-5K weren't available. So kids aren't even starting kindergarten in a space and mindset in an area where they actually know their ABCs. And so I get what you're saying, Wayne. I hope you are 100% correct. But we got parents that are just not stepping up. And when parents don't step up, in all cases, it's really tough for a school to do it when the parents don't step up. But that is an excellent point. Thank you for that. I don't get why some people say what they do, but let me see. Mumble rap, dang. I don't know who that is. We talking, what do I want for dinner? See, stuff like, what do I want for dinner? Why do we care, Reginald? Reginald, why do we care? You feeling like broccoli and cauliflower. No, you're not. You faking. Oh, I got to eat right. I eat broccoli and... Come on. You know you don't eat broccoli and cauliflower. Ain't had squash for a while. Tired of chicky bird. Oh, overdue for some seafood. Like, what is that? Like, what exactly is that? Quanta said, I have math instructor like that at MATC. It would give me failing grade because I wouldn't do it his way. I would show the work and still have the same answer as him, but it wasn't his way. Well, that's how they do now. That's how they want math, because they want math done the new way. I don't know. He tried to fail me. I went to the dean, and he was disappointed, disgusted with me because I was in the right, and because he's the teacher, he was right. And that's not true. You have an issue. But if you have an issue, you need to go to the teacher. You need to go to the instructor. Don't always just run to the dean to fight your battles. You're an adult, right? Right? The instructor, because the dean told him as long as I show the work and have the right answer, he can't fail me for not doing it the way he teaches it. That is true. One can only hope. One can only hope. Reginald said, I salute the legendary legends. Thank you, Mr. Rangel, for your service. Absolutely. Absolutely. Quanda say, my man drives for a living and to the passenger. Oh, my God. I'm done. I am done. So Reginald said, third bag checked is a bonus. Pay more money to chance bringing, well, you're not going to bring an aircraft down with a $150 bag. You're just going to overpay. That's all. Remember, these are passenger planes, not commercial cargo. Leave that other crap behind and go shopping with the local merchants upon your arrival. But you still got to put it on a plane to bring it home. Like, what are you even talking about, Reginald? Come on. You see how I changed the timbre of my voice? How you even? Okay. Tanya says, oh, no, don't have Dr. Harris on here acting like Shirley because the audience is weird. Yes, absolutely. I act weird because you're weird. You finally got it, Tanya. See? Somebody listens to me. Somebody. But it's just important to remember, and we're going to be talking about that in the coming weeks. I am planning on doing a show, a week on Black history. Not during Black history, but actually a week on Black history. All right? So I want to dive into some of the high points of what's going on as it relates to Black history. I'm trying to bring some people in who have a degree and background in Black history. What I don't want is what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want the academic, political shade of Black history. I want the full positive, negative, good, bad of Black history. Because we can't ask America to tell Black history and tell all of their history unless we're going to show everybody's history in full. We have to. I think it's just the equitable thing to do. That's all. That's all. I think that's something we have to do. Tune in to the award-winning 1017 The Truth Black Business Give Back Spotlight this Friday, 3:57 p.m. between the Tory Lowe Show and me, Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris. And we'll be joined by Linnell Norton, who's the owner of Circle of Friends Adult Day Program. We will discuss the safety, the security, the fun setting they provide to adults with special needs. Again, Black Business Give Back Spotlight with Circle of Friends Adult Day Program this Friday, 9:57 p.m. Where are you going to find it? between the Tori Lowe Show and Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken, right here on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth.
Don't touch that dial. More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris is next on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Truth Nation, Gruber Law Offices, and The Truth have raised the stakes for this year. The One Call, That's All Gruber Cash Giveaway is now a $5K giveaway. Yes, you heard it right. $5,000 giveaway. Every weekday on 101.7 The Truth, you will have the chance to be entered to win the $5K giveaway. Listen to The Truth for the One Call, That's All cue to call for your chance to win $5,000. Gruber Law Offices, One Call, That's All. Visit 1017thetruth.com for official contest rules.
Saving energy and money is easier than you think. Here are 2 simple things you can do to reduce your energy use and lower your energy bill. Use thermal curtains to reduce each room's energy loss by up to 25%, and make sure vents aren't blocked by furniture or rugs to improve airflow and comfort. Simple, smart savings. Get more energy-saving tips at WeEnergies.com.
Great impressions will exceed your expectations. Great impressions, perceptions, everything.
At Great Impressions Graphics and Printing, they've been proudly serving the community for over 26 years from their location at the corner of 54th and Burleigh in Milwaukee. Their dedication to quality and customer satisfaction has made them a trusted name in printing and design. Great Impressions offer a wide range of services, including banners, posters, yard signs, business cards, programs, and postcards. Plus, they specialize in custom apparel printing, perfect for family reunions, sports outings, business promotions, and more. For your next project, visit greatimpress.com. That's greatimpress.com. Great Impressions. They're here when you need them.
Great impressions, perceptions, everything.
When you're high, you feel different. Pretty obvious, right? You think different, talk different, but if you feel different, you drive different. So if you're high, just don't drive. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Happy kids heal faster, and that's why Starlight is dedicated to improving the mental well-being of sick kids across the U.S. Learn how at starlight.org.
Truck crash? Call Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
So I was looking at this guy that was leaving a store today. I was going to get some food because certain people at 1017 The Truth always want to eat. When you're coming in, got to get some food. And so I went to go pick it up, and I saw a person coming out. And you know how some places let you put stuff on your food, like sauce or whatever? They had the whole bottle in their hand and put it in their bag and got in the car and drove away. And I'm like, I don't think you're supposed to be taking that with you. But yet we wonder why prices are so high, because people stealing stuff. You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. Tori Lowe Show is coming up next. Make sure you hang out for the best in Milwaukee Black Talk. I want to say thank you, Glenn P. Appreciate you. DJ Brother Z was here earlier. I was harassing him, but dude is taller than me and bigger than me and younger than me. So if he ever bumps me walking, I'm going to fall out. Oh my God, he hurt me. Oh, I'm hurt. Yep, I'm going to play it up now. I had to reach that age now. I get to play it up. But no, hey, God bless you guys. Quanda, Reginald, Land of Banana, all you guys. I think Amber was up in here too. Tanya, want to say thank you. Sincere, what's up? DVJ, all y'all. Want to say thanks for hanging in there in the chat. I will see you in 22. God bless. Take care.
Be quiet.
I'm out.